Hello everybody, welcome to another Scrappy Saturday. I am so excited because this is the first card from our new holidays catalog. And in this particular card, I'm going to be using the All Ye Faithful stamp set. And I'm also using a star from the Festival of Trees stamp set. But mainly everything is coming from this All Ye Faithful. I love it because they're a good size to do bookmarks. And I'm going to show you in just a minute, if I don't tear it up, the bookmark that I made. My husband and I both teach an older ladies Sunday school class at church, and I always like to do something a little different for them. And so this year I decided to make their cards with this, and I made a bookmark. It fits down in there, and it's the old "Come All Ye Faithful," and then on the inside I have used the sentiment from there, which is, "May the wonder of that first Christmas, the joy of God's abundant blessings, and the peace of the Lord be with you always." Now, I'm going to just go ahead and forewarn you, this one takes a little more time because I am doing a lot of sponging on here to get the effects that I want. And I'm also doing some Copic coloring in here. Since Stampin' Up! Doesn't carry these blendabilities anymore because they haven't got them just the way they want them. I'm using Copic markers right here on this character. And then I've got Night of Navy seam binding ribbon up here. And then the ladies will be able just to use this as a Bible marker or whatever they want. And you just pull it out. So there for, and then on the back it'll have to and from, and so that they'll always remember where they got it from. This is just a good idea for older folks, especially that are in church and Sunday school. You want to send a special card to. Okay, the way that I did this is right here. I have my Hello Honey cardstock, cut at 4 1/4 by 11, folded at 5 1/2. And as I said, then I've got the purple, goodness, I forgot what color of purple it is, but it's one of the darker purples. I have the cardstock out of that purple, cut at 4 and 5 1/4, and then I have the white, the Whisper White, cut at 3 and 3/4 by 5. Then I stamped this, and then I took the stars and just added just a little touch to here just to make it a little bit better. Okay, the next thing I've got is I took this out of the designer's paper, that mosaic designer's paper that has this. You've seen me use that on men's cards. And anyway, I've got this. It's cut at 4 by 5. Let's see. No, actually, it is cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 is what it's cut at. Now, all I'm going to do is put this down. Go ahead and get started with that. Making sure everything is neat there on the edge. I'm waiting on new blades to come in for my cutter, and it's sometimes my blade is a little dull, and I have to make sure I don't leave too many rough edges. Okay, there's that. Now, this is also cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I cut it, and then I cut it from corner to corner the whole thing. It's actually cut like this. And then after I cut this from corner to corner, I take this, and it is actually 2 3/4 inches wide at the bottom. So I bring it out to where this is 2 3/4 inches wide, and then I cut from this top corner all the way down. I do that on both of them, and see, because it's the same color on both sides, I don't have to. I only have to use one sheet. And then I'm just putting it right here in. I work it right here where it's in the edges of the card. Actually, it's gonna, I'm sorry, I actually cut this at the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I just realized that. So anyway, it's actually cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then, as I said, I cut it diagonally, and then I take it over and cut it at 2 3/4. And then cut it diagonally again. Now I'm using the extreme tape runner on this because the extreme holds to the extreme. And so I'm using it on this because I don't want it to loosen up whatsoever. Now, I know that this one is taking just going over just a little bit, so I am going to run the tape up just about that far over here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of hold my place at it so I'll know, make sure I don't get it up too far or down too low. And then I'm going to do this number. I got to get this good. Now, there I have the front of the card. Now, the bookmark will just slide down in there, just like this one. It'll slide down in there, and you have to kind of do it a couple times, and then it kind of gets adjusted to it. But that way you can actually see this picture above the V point there. Okay, now putting back here. Now this is the fun part. I love doing this sponging. I took the Whisper White. I cut this 2 inches by 5 inches, and then I put it in my tag topper. I have the one with like the ruffled edge at the top, I call it. I like that. And I cut it and made the tag. Well, I'm gonna put this together to make it even more sturdy once I have done all of the sponging on here. But I wanted, on this one, I use a lot of purples and blues and yellows on this. And of course my baked brown sugar. This one, first of all, is my Perfect Plum. This is my Wisteria Wonder. This is the Night of Navy. This one is, I've got all my sponges here, so I'm going to have to move them so I can get here. This is the Island Indigo. And then Marina Mist. The only thing about these, they have these written in so many languages on here, I have to look for my language sometimes. Okay, then right here I have my yellows, and here is the So Saffron. And by the way, I stamped those stars on the inside with So Saffron. And then here is the Crushed Curry. The first thing I'm going to do, I have used my itty bitty star punch, and I've punched out this star to mask off this area where my star is going to be. And right here, I've masked off, I've already stamped on the Holy Family, Mary, Joseph, and the baby Jesus. And then I have cut this mask out of a sticky notepad and put that on, and I'm just reusing the same one that I've used on the others. And so I'm going to start from there, and then I'll worry about the star, getting it yellow when I get finished. But I'm starting up in the corner, and I've got these sponges with all different colors. Right here, I'm going to start up in the very top corner. Okay, I'm just starting. It's Wisteria Wonder, but I'm starting off of the paper, and I'm coming on to the paper. And then I'm just going to keep doing it until it looks really, really soft in there. I just did a little piece because there's so much of this to do. And then I'm going to go to my Perfect Plum, which is, I'm just going to use this for Perfect Plum. And then I'm taking my Perfect Plum, and again, I'm starting off of the paper, and I'm coming on to the paper. Oops, I just knocked my star off. It doesn't matter. I can use it right there and it won't hurt a thing. And then I'm coming on to the paper. You see, this was more of a bluish purple. And now I have got my real purple on there. And since I pulled my star off, I'm going to try to actually keep it masked and kind of touch from it and go out. Okay. Now I'm going to take my Marina Mist, and which is right here. I'm starting with it. And I'm going to take that, and I'm going to go very lightly with it and try to blend it in with some of these purples. Whoops. I don't want to get it on my Mary and Joseph. That's the only thing about reusing the same ones, is that sometimes they don't stick on as well. The mask doesn't. And so I'm having to basically... Now the thing is, I don't want to go over any further because my star needs to shine down on the Holy Family. So that's as far over as I want to go. I'm going to go up here and try to blend this Marina Mist some at the top. And then I'm going to take and bring some of it over here on the side because it's kind of mixed into pretty well there. I'm actually going to go ahead and do my yellow right now. I'm going to take my So Saffron, and I'm taking it and I am coming straight down from my star onto the Holy Family. Actually, gotta get this pulled up because I don't want it on Joseph's head. However, I have found that with Copic markers, most of them, especially if it's the dark color, it will go right over this ink, and you never know that you had ink on your picture or your design. But I'm not going to try it. Because I am really wanting this yellow. Now I'm going to go over here, just using the same one, and go into this crushed curry. And I'm going to go ahead and leave that star off and bring this on because I'm going to want it yellow anyway. And you can see the outline of the star. And I'm pulling it in just like that. So you know it was the star up there. And now I'm going to go with some Night of Navy here. If I can find it. There we go. And I'm going to be pushing it in right in here. Just very lightly, however. Now look, you do not have to use the same colors that I'm using. You can blend in your own colors. I am just making this up as I go. Whatever I want to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And then you can make your own choices from there. But I like pulling in some of that navy at the down here. And there I did touch it before I didn't start it off of the picture because I am going to do what I heard somebody call burnish it in because I want it to be really smooth. I want that, I want it to just look like it just all came together, melted together. And so I'm actually going to take some of this Night of Navy too and go up here. I think I am going to put my star back on. My star mask here. And try to do some navy there. Because I don't want it just stark yellow. I want it to look like it was streaming down on the Holy Family. Not just being so yellow. Now I'll take my yellow and do that one again. And there again, I'm kind of burnishing it in, trying to make it look like it just melted together. And do this Night of Navy up here at this top too. I want it to be a little bit lighter because around a light, it's not going to be as dark as it is away from the light. And so I am going to be working on here again. Okay, that's pretty much what I want. Now you can see the star and then you can see the light coming down. I like that better. And I'm going to do just a little bit more of this yellow, making it lighter as it's coming out of the, as it shines over the Holy Family. That's why I said this one's going to take longer, folks. I'm sorry. Now, we're going to use this baked brown sugar. And I'm going to make the desert ground that they walked on. And I tried to start this one off, but I'm having to hold down my masks because I don't want it to get on my Joseph, which is standing right there. And I try to make the sand the color. My son was over in Iraq, and so he talked about, you know, he was over in the place where the first Daniel walked, and so I looked at those pictures of the sand in the desert that he brought back, and it was kind of it wasn't real dark, so I'm trying to make this sand, but I'm just going by those pictures. I don't know. I've never been there, but on the pictures it doesn't look real dark. So here again, I'm just trying to blend it in. I'm sorry, my bracelet is banging on the table. And two, I'm thinking if it was shining down that it probably had a little lighter streak right there on the sand. So I'm pretty satisfied with this. That one is my finished marker. hopefully when the one who does my videos does this, she can speed this up a little bit so that you don't have to, so it doesn't take so long. And I'm just telling you that each one is going to look different because you can already see that that one's different in the coloring. That's okay. It's just because they're handmade. They are going to be different. And that's the beauty of them, is that they're different. Now, I've taken the 2 masks off. And to make a mask, by the way, I just stamped on the pad and then I fussy cut it around all the edges. So now I have this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, first of all, when I do Copics, I start with the faces. And this is going to take a little while, so we will probably really go in fast motion throughout all of this. I love doing Copics. It's one of the most relaxing things that I do, is when I do my Copic coloring. I gotta get these stamp pads out of my way. I can't. I'm gonna have the ink everywhere if I don't. Okay. Now that I've finished this, I have done the coloring, I've done the sponging, I've got the ground and all of that done pretty much to my satisfaction. So now this is the next step. I'm taking my Bookmark ink stamp right here. Now, notice I haven't put this on yet. The reason I'm not putting it on yet is because I'm going to use it to help straighten this out once I emboss this. But I've got the Bookmark ink stamp there, and I am just taking this and I'm just putting the ink all over it. And I've got a refill on this coming this week, and it couldn't be soon enough because this is getting kind of low on the ink on this, so I have to really check to be sure that I've got ink on it really good. I don't want to miss any spots, because missing spots means there are spots that won't come out shiny and embossed looking. Okay. Now, put this back. Now, I'm going to pull this paper over here. Excuse me. I'm going to put this paper on right here. And I'm going to use this clear embossing powder. And I'm just going to cover it with it. I want it all covered because that's the way I'm going to get this, the shiny look that I want. Now, this is where I start using my tweezers because I don't want, I don't want fingerprints all over it. So, there where I've put my mark, I'm going to just put a little bit more powder. Okay, I think that's got it pretty good. And now I'm going to take the powder and I'm going to pour it back in here. We just don't want to waste it. No wasting. And now I am going to take my tweezers again and pick this up and emboss. It won't matter if there's a streak because the ribbon will cover it. Now I'm just going to put it right there just to be sure I got that done. Alright. Now I'm going to let this cool and flatten for just a minute, and while it's doing that, you can see all of my sponging on my mat here. That's okay. Now I'm going to take this and I am going to put on it my front sentiment, which is "Oh come all ye faithful," and I'm using the Night of Navy ink. This one is a great stamp. I love the way it comes out. I'm going to put that behind it because I want to get it centered right here on this piece of white paper. I hope. Oh, that turned out right good. I've had far too many that have been crooked, and then I would have to turn them over on the back. And okay, thank goodness that one turned out almost exactly the way I wanted it. Now, because I wanted just a little bit of color on it, I'm taking my Night of Navy and I'm sponging around the edges. And I'm actually coming in a little bit more than normal because I'm just kind of wanting to softly highlight it around around the words, and kind of like that. Maybe a little more right here. Alright, and now I'm going to put, I'm going to do the sponging also on this. Now this is the same paper that I have here, only on the back it is this, which I kind of liked, because it kept everything from being so dark. So I'm just going to sponge the edges of it with, again, the Night of Navy. Alright. Now I'm going to put this, all I did with that is I just taped it, I used the tape runner, put it down, and I did use the extreme on it too, because it's crisscross and I wanted to be sure it stayed down. Okay, and then I'm popping this up. And then I'm putting this on right here. There we go. And now I am going to take this glue. I love this glue. It is the Fabri-Tac from Beacon. It is a quick grab. It's a great glue. It's an expensive glue, but it doesn't wrinkle up your paper, and when you put something down with it, it stays. So even though this is flattened out quite a bit since I embossed it and just left it laying, I am going, this will help it to lay down even flatter. And it's quick grab, but I do at least have a second that I can move this around to make sure that it is on there evenly. And if there's anything showing, which there is right here, I can take my snips and just trim it just a hair so that it's all even. And again over here. a spot that didn't get embossed exactly the way I wanted it, so I'm hoping that I can get it now. Even though it's dried somewhat, it looks working. It's embossing now. I have it all done. Alright, and there is my finished bookmark. I'm looking again, I see another spot. This is what happens, and then I keep going back over it. But just embossing spots doesn't make it wrinkle up like it does when you're doing the whole thing. Alright, now there it is. And then I'm taking my Night of Navy ribbon. Taking about this much. Oops. Let's see if I can get that. It's alright. This will cover it. Okay, there. And then because I did want to put a bow on it for the ladies, I'm just taking just a hair, a little bit of ribbon here. I'm folding it this way, and then I'm going to use this and make a bow right at the top. As you can see, this one takes time, but it's for people that are special and dear to us. You wouldn't want to try to make 100 of these, although I am making 15 and or 20 of them. I don't know exactly how many at this point. So I have, that way they will have something, and they will have it in their memory that it'll be something that they keep. It's not just a card they look at Christmas and then put away. It'll be something that they can keep in their Bibles, because the Holy Family, I mean, Jesus is present in every book of the Bible, so it goes all the way through. So, anyways, this way they'll just have a little something to remember us and who gave it to them. Now, if the bow doesn't drive me nuts trying to do it, because it's very I'm not doing one that's very big, and I may not have cut enough ribbon. And I didn't. I'm going to have to undo this one, and I can use that though for something else. So I'm going to take the knot out of it. Anyway, you have the idea, and I'm not going to keep you any longer with my mumbling. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you will come back next Saturday. We're going to cut out as much of this as we possibly can, but it just takes time, and that's all I can say. But I appreciate your being patient, and I hope you'll come back next Saturday for another Scrappy Saturday.